The hidden force behind success is consistency. There is one habit that separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. One principle that quietly governs all growth, abundance, and transformation. It's not talent, it's not opportunity, it's not even motivation. It's consistency. Consistency is the silent architect of success. It doesn't shout, it doesn't rush, but day after day, it builds empires, rewires minds, and unlocks the impossible. Most people fail not because they lack vision, but because they break their own rhythm. They get excited, then distracted. They begin, then stop. They commit, then retreat. But those who train their mind to be consistent hold the power to shift their entire destiny. This speech is your wake-up call, not to work harder but to align deeper, not to hustle non-stop but to command your focus, not to chase a better life but to become someone consistent enough to live it. Each step you'll hear today will guide you through the process of building an unshakable, repeatable internal pattern, one that makes success, wealth, peace, and power your new default setting. Let's begin. Let's train your mind to be consistent. Let's take control now. One, decide who you are and stick to it daily. Consistency doesn't start with what you do, it starts with who you decide to be. Most people skip this step. They chase goals, follow strategies, and consume endless information, but they never make a clear, firm decision about their identity. And because they haven't decided who they are, they default to who they were yesterday. They slip back into patterns, old thinking, and emotional chaos. But everything changes the moment you decide, not casually, not conditionally, but deeply, clearly, and finally. Because the truth is, your actions will always follow your identity. You will never outwork the person you believe yourself to be. So if your self-concept says you're inconsistent, undisciplined, or scattered, no technique will save you. You will sabotage your efforts over and over again. That's why consistency begins with this foundational step. You must decide who you are and live from that decision daily. The identity anchor, your inner declaration. Let's make this real. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and instead of asking, "What do I feel like doing?" you ask this instead, "What would the most consistent version of me do today?" And then you do exactly that. You're no longer ruled by moods, doubts, or distractions. You're anchored in identity. You've decided once and for all that you are consistent, focused, and clear. Write it down. Speak it out. Say it until it becomes your inner law. I am consistent. I follow through. I do what I say I will do. Every day. Not sometimes, not when it's easy. Every day. How identity affects your brain. Let's get scientific for a moment. Your brain is wired to protect your self-image. This means it will do everything it can to stay in alignment with who you believe you are. So if you tell yourself, "I'm lazy," or "I never stick to things," your brain will subconsciously forget your goals, miss opportunities, create excuses, sabotage progress. Why? Because it wants to be right about you. But when you shift your identity, even slightly, your brain begins looking for ways to prove the new version of you right. Start saying these phrases, rewire your subconscious and reshape your decisions. It's not magic, it's biology. Define your new consistent self. Let's now build your consistent identity profile. Answer the following, either aloud or in a journal. If I were wildly consistent, what would my daily routine look like? What would I stop doing immediately? What one habit would I never skip? How would I feel about myself when I followed through every day? What would change in my life if I kept going no matter what? Reflect, feel it, lock it in. This is not just about imagining, it's about deciding. This version of you already exists. You don't need to earn it. You just need to say, "That's me." Consistency isn't perfection, it's return. One of the biggest myths is that being consistent means being perfect. It doesn't. Real consistency doesn't mean you never fall off. It means you always come back, quickly, silently, without drama. You missed a day? Fine. You fell back into an old habit? Okay. But you return. You get back up with no guilt, no shame, no story. You say, "I'm someone who comes back. I don't let one off day define me." That is true power, because the faster your comeback, the stronger your identity becomes. Track the identity, not just the outcome. Most people measure consistency by results. Did I make money yet? Did I lose the weight? Did I go viral? but focusing only on outcomes breeds discouragement. Instead, measure your alignment with your new identity. Did I show up like the consistent version of me today? Did I do what I said I'd do, even if I didn't feel like it? Did I do what I said I'd do, even if I didn't feel like it? Am I reinforcing the identity of someone who follows through? That's how you stay rooted. And as you do this day after day, the results, the wealth, health, peace, and power become inevitable. Daily identity affirmation. Say this to yourself every morning and every night. I am consistent. I act in alignment with my highest self. My words match my action. I build momentum daily. I don't need motivation. I have identity. I follow through. I finish. I evolve. Consistency is who I am. Action. Create a ritual of decision. Before you go to bed tonight, decide again who you are. Write down in present tense, I am consistent in an area of your life. I always follow through with key habit or goal. I no longer tolerate inconsistent behavior. You're releasing. Put it somewhere visible. Your mirror, your phone lock screen, your journal. See it and speak it every single day. Why? Because you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your and your standards are shaped by your identity. Make consistent your new standard. Final reminder for step 1. This step is not about what to do, it's about who you are choosing to be. If you don't decide who you are, the world will do it for you. And the world is full of distraction, doubt, and delay. But when you step into the identity of someone consistent, someone who shows up, follows through, returns quickly, and trusts themselves completely, you become unstoppable. Let this be the day you stop chasing motivation and start commanding identity. Because once your mind is trained to be consistent, everything else begins to 2. Master your environment. Because it's programming you. Let's tell the truth. You cannot become consistent in a world that's built for chaos. You cannot master your thoughts in an environment that's constantly distracting, draining, and demanding your energy. Your mind is powerful, yes, but it is also programmable. And what programs it more than anything? Your environment. The places you spend time in, the people you surround yourself with, the sounds you hear, the sights you see, the clutter on your desk, the tabs on your browser, the apps on your phone, all of it, consciously or subconsciously, is shaping who you become. If you want to be consistent, then your environment must support that identity. Because no matter how strong your willpower is, your surroundings will either accelerate your consistency or destroy it before you even begin. Your external world reflects your inner commitment. Have you ever tried to stick to a morning routine while sleeping next to your phone, filled with notifications, or tried to write, create, or focus while sitting in a messy, noisy room full of distraction? How long did that consistency last? Exactly. Your environment whispers messages to your subconscious all day long. Messages like, you can try to fight back with discipline, but eventually environment wins. Every single time. The key: change the environment to match your new identity. Then build an environment that expects consistency from you. Start with your physical space. Ask, is my workspace clean or cluttered? Do I have a designated spot for focus and productivity? Are there visual reminders of who I want to be? Then examine your digital space. What apps constantly pull me away from my goals? What notifications need to be silenced? Can I delete, hide, or block what drains me? Now move to your people environment. Who in my life supports my growth and consistency? Who distracts me, brings drama, or encourages excuses? How can I limit time with those who pull me away from alignment? Don't take this lightly. This isn't about being harsh, it's about being honest. If someone or something is costing you your consistency, it is also costing you your future. Lay your clothes out the night before. Keep your gym bag packed. Want to journal every morning? Place your notebook and pen on your pillow at night. Want to avoid mindless scrolling? Delete the app. Move your phone out of reach. Install an app blocker and keep your commitment. You don't need to fight yourself. You need to support yourself. Consistency becomes automatic when you remove friction from the good habits and add friction to the bad ones. Energy leaks kill momentum. You may be consistent in your actions, but if your environment is full of noise, drama, and mental clutter, your energy will leak. These leaks show up as mental fog, procrastination, emotional burnout, sudden loss of focus, resentment toward your own goals. Clean your environment, and you clean your mind. Make space for clarity, and you make space for consistency. Here's a quick action. Declutter one area of your life today. It could be your email inbox, your closet, your phone, your workspace. Just one place. And as you do it, say, "This is a symbol of my new consistent self." Auditory environment. What are you listening to? Sound is one of the most powerful subconscious conditioners. What you listen to is what you become. So ask yourself, are you filling your ears with gossip, endless news cycles, negative conversations, or are you nourishing your mind with empowering affirmations, uplifting music, silence and stillness? Be intentional with your input, because your mind becomes what it repeatedly hears. Want to be consistent? Feed your mind a consistent stream of strength, peace, and purpose. Daily consistency cue. Visual anchors. Place reminders of your identity around your environment. A sticky note on your mirror. I follow through. A lock screen that says, these little cues speak to the subconscious all day. They quietly reprogram your behavior. They remind you, this is who you are now. Eliminate decision fatigue. One reason people struggle with consistency is they're constantly deciding, should I do it today? Should I go or should I work or rest? Too many options create decision fatigue, which leads to inconsistency. So simplify, plan ahead, create routines, automate as much as possible. The more decisions you eliminate, the more energy you preserve. That energy gets redirected toward consistent, high-level actions. Don't just design, defend. It's one thing to build a better environment. It's another thing to protect it. You must become the guardian of your energy. That means saying, default, no to invitations that drain you, no to chaos disguised as urgency, no to people who test your peace. Consistency is born when your outer world is a reflection of your inner truth, and when you fiercely protect that alignment. Step 2, affirmation. Say this now and daily. My environment supports my greatness. I eliminate all that distracts, drains, or derails me. I create sacred spaces of focus, peace, and power. I train my mind to be consistent by surrounding myself with consistency. I am fully in control. Final thoughts. For step 2, you can't become a consistent person in a chaotic environment. It's not just about fixing your habits. It's about fixing your surroundings. Your environment is either a prison or a launch pad. It either holds you back or pushes you forward. It either steals your attention or magnifies your power. Decide today to build an environment that matches your next level, one that respects your focus, protects your peace, and reminds you every day, you are someone who follows through. You are someone who shows up. You are someone who finishes what they start. And that kind of person becomes unstoppable. Discipline your attention. Where focus goes, energy grows. Consistency doesn't just depend on your habits, it depends on your attention. And in today's world, your attention is under attack. Every beep, every buzz, every scroll, every notification is designed to rob you of your focus. And if you lose control of your attention, you lose control of your life. You see, attention is not a passive experience. It is a currency, a power. What you give your attention to, you give your life to. And where your attention goes repeatedly, your reality follows. This step is about mastering your attention. Because once your focus is trained, your actions will automatically align. And when your actions align consistently, success becomes inevitable. You don't have a time problem, you have an attention problem. Most people say they don't have time, but the truth is, they have time. They just don't have mastery over their focus. Let's do the math. 10 minutes lost checking social media every hour, 2 hours day, 2 hours day, 2 hours day, is 60 hours month. 60 hours month, is 30 full days year gone. Wasted, scattered. You're not out of time, you're out of control. And that control begins with your attention. Because once you train your attention to stay locked on the right things, your productivity skyrockets, your mind calms, your goals accelerate, your energy multiplies. The myth of multitasking. Multitasking is a trap. It feels productive, it feels fast, but in reality it's fragmentation. It splits your energy, weakens your results, and feeds inconsistency. Research shows that switching between tasks can reduce productivity by up to 4, and more importantly, it trains your brain to never go deep, to skim, to skip, to avoid mastery. But consistency, real, lasting consistency, comes from depth, not speed. So choose one task, one goal, one moment, give it your full presence, and then move on, completely. That's the habit of high performers. Focus is a muscle, train it daily. Just like your body, your focus needs to be trained. Start small, 10 minutes of focused, uninterrupted work. No phone, no tabs, just one task. Then grow. This is called deep work, and it's how you build consistency without burnout. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing with undivided focus, and do it daily. Attention rituals, bookends to your day. The way you begin and end your day sets the tone for everything in between. Morning focus ritual. I stay on course. I finish what I start. Evening reset ritual. Detox from distraction. Let's get honest. There are digital addictions in your life right now pulling you away from who you're meant to be. It's not about guilt, it's about responsibility. Make a distraction, detox list. Take ape. What apps are draining your time? What shows are consuming your evenings? What websites do you escape to when things get uncomfortable? Now remove them, or limit them. This isn't punishment, it's protection. Because your focus is sacred, and you cannot be consistent while giving your energy to what doesn't matter. Protect the golden hours. You have golden hours each day. These are your peak focus windows. Maybe it's early morning, maybe it's late at night. Use them for what matters most. Take ape. Your highest goal, your deepest work, your next breakthrough. Guard these hours like your future depends on it, because it does. Don't give your best energy to your inbox. Don't waste it on passive scrolling. Don't spill it on the needs of others before you've filled yourself. Show up fully, on purpose. That's how consistent people live. Eliminate the hidden energy drainers. It's not just screens and noise that steal your attention. Sometimes it's the mental loops. Take ape, worry, regret, overthinking, unfinished tasks. Write them down, get them out of your head. Create a mental to-clear list. Each item you write is energy reclaimed, and the more energy you reclaim, the more consistent you become. Rewire your default settings. If your default is distraction, you must consciously change it. How? Take ape. Replace scrolling with breathing. Replace checking with creating. Take ape. Replace stimulation with stillness. You don't need constant input, you need inner alignment. And inner alignment comes when your attention stops chasing noise and starts serving your purpose. Daily attention affirmation. Repeat this now and throughout your day. I control where my attention goes. I do one thing at a time, with full presence. I protect my focus and honor my time. My energy is mine. My life follows my focus. I am consistent because I choose what matters. But every moment you reclaim your focus, that bridge strengthens. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop hoping for more time. Start where you are and discipline your attention. Because consistency is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, again and again with undivided presence. You already have the power to focus. You just have to choose it, moment by moment, until it becomes your way of life. Your future depends on your focus, so aim it with precision, protect it with power, and let that attention unlock the consistent, powerful, unstoppable version of you that's been waiting to rise. 4. Honor the power of small, repeated wins. When people think of consistency, they often imagine massive daily efforts, grand routines, and bold commitments. But true consistency, it's born from something much smaller, much quieter. It's the result of small wins repeated relentlessly. Why? Because small wins create trust, and trust in yourself is the foundation of all lasting success. Why small wins matter more than big moves. It's tempting to think you need a big breakthrough to change your life, but what actually changes your life is what you do consistently, not what you do intensely for a few days. Intensity is exciting. Consistency is transformative. Here's the truth. Big moves may bring temporary results, but small wins done daily rewire your mind, build your character, and create momentum you can't fake. What are small wins? Small wins are actions that are without fail. Examples: Examples: baking 1 paragraph a day, drinking 1 extra glass of water, making your bed in the morning, spending 5 minutes in stillness, speaking 1 affirmation aloud. Individually, they may seem insignificant, but together they're bricks you're laying every single day to build the life you want. The science behind small repetitions: your brain doesn't change through one-time actions, it changes through repetition. Every time you complete a small win, your brain releases dopamine, the reward chemical. That dopamine reinforces the behavior, strengthens the neural pathways, and makes the habit easier next time. Small wins literally program your brain to believe, I am someone who follows through. And when your brain believes that, your life transforms. How small wins build self-trust. Self-trust is built just like any other relationship, through kept promises. And when you commit to something small, simple, and repeatable, and actually do it, you teach your subconscious, I do what I say I will do. That's how you erase doubt. That's how you destroy procrastination. That's how you stop quitting on yourself. With each small win, your confidence compounds. Set a minimum daily standard. To build consistency, create a minimum daily standard, something so doable that you can hit it no matter what. Example: but it's not about impressing your ego, it's about creating identity. Remember, you're not training for perfection, you're training for repetition. Example: you wake up and speak your affirmation. Win 1. Then you drink a full glass of water. Win 2. You review your goals for the day. Win 3. Now, within 10 minutes of waking up, you've already collected 3 victories. You've told your subconscious, today I win. Today, I show up. This creates momentum that carries you all day. Record your wins, write them down, keep a log, make a consistency journal. Not to prove anything to the world, but to remind yourself, look at what I'm becoming. There's something powerful about seeing a physical record of your commitment. Even just checking a box on a calendar can shift your identity. Each mark, each line, each log, proof you're becoming unstoppable. Don't underestimate the ripple effect. A small win doesn't stay small. Example: you drink more water, you have more energy, you sleep early, you wake up clear, you speak an affirmation, you walk with more confidence, you stretch your body, you feel lighter, more in control. Tiny actions echo across your day. They affect your choices, your tone, your presence, your results. Every small win carries hidden power, and over time, they make big things look effortless. Watch out for the all or nothing trap. This is the trap that kills consistency faster than anything. If I can't. 5. Embrace boredom. The hidden door to mastery. Here's a truth few people want to admit. Consistency is not always exciting. Sometimes it's repetitive. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's boring. But that boredom, that's the gate you pass through before greatness. Too many people quit right before transformation. Not because it was hard, but because it was no longer stimulating. They mistake boredom for failure. They mistake stillness for stagnation. They forget that progress often hides behind the mundane. But if you want to train your mind to be truly consistent, you must learn to stay the course, especially when it's no longer thrilling. The modern addiction to novelty. We live in a world of instant gratification. New posts, new reels, new apps, new goals, new hacks. People chase new instead of building deep. But those who rise to mastery, those who become consistent and unshakable, they're not chasing dopamine. They're devoted to depth. They don't need the excitement of something new. They find meaning in doing the same thing, better, each day. This is the secret. Mastery lives where boredom begins. Redefine your relationship with repetition. Repetition doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you're refining. Every repetition you complete is a brushstroke on the canvas of your greatness. It's another layer of strength, another line of code in your subconscious programming. Athletes train the same move thousands of times. Musicians play the same scales every day. Masters return to the basics over and over. Why? Because repetition reveals excellence. So don't run from routine. Run toward it with reverence. Find beauty in the basics. When you do the same task daily, it's easy to tune out. But consistency becomes powerful when you stay conscious within the repetition. Let's say you repeat an affirmation every day. Don't let it become mechanical. Feel it, mean it, live it, or maybe you follow a daily routine, like journaling, meditating, walking, or reading. Pause inside the routine. Appreciate its presence in your life. Notice how it's shaping you day by day. Consistency becomes spiritual when you turn repetition into ritual. The moment boredom sets in, you're standing at a fork in the road. One path leads to distraction, changing goals, switching directions, starting over again and again, ending up nowhere. The other path leads to mastery, choosing to keep going, to remain planted, focused, and faithful. Which do you choose? The comfortable cycle that repeats failure, or the committed cycle that builds success? Consistency asks you to stay, even when your emotions say leave. Can you stay focused when the results haven't shown up yet? Can you follow through when no one's watching? Can you persist when your mind says, this again? That's emotional endurance, and it's a muscle, one you build by embracing the boring moments without resistance. Most people quit when things feel slow, but the ones who stay, they compound their growth in silence. The compound effect of showing up anyway. Here's the irony. The day you feel like quitting, the day the routine feels dry, the day it seems pointless, that's often the day your breakthrough is right around the corner. Because consistency isn't linear. Some days feel amazing, some feel dull, some feel like nothing's changing. But all those days, stacked together, build compound momentum. One brick at a time, one repetition at a time, one act of quiet faith at a time. Practical tip: set a boredom threshold. Train yourself to notice boredom, not avoid it. Say to yourself, this feeling means I'm on the edge of growth. Then push through. Challenge. Watch how your relationship with discipline deepens. Your future self will thank you. Normalize monotony and make it sacred. What if the boring routine you repeat each morning isn't just a task, but a spiritual contract between you and your potential? What if your quiet evening journaling isn't dull, but a daily act of power, reshaping your identity? What if your daily workout, your daily meditation, your daily writing are sacred acts of devotion to your vision? The moment you see your consistent actions as sacred, you will never need motivation again, because now your discipline is rooted in purpose. Step 5: Affirmation. Speak this into your day. I embrace repetition as the gateway to mastery. I embrace repetition as the gateway to mastery. I stay the course even when it feels slow. I find power in the ordinary. I do not need constant excitement. I need alignment. Every day I show up, I win. Can you still act in alignment when it's not glamorous? Can you still believe when the process is quiet? The answer must be yes, because greatness doesn't come to those who always feel inspired. It comes to those who are devoted, even when inspiration fades. So next time you feel bored, don't run. Smile, lean in. Keep going, because boredom is not the end of the road, it's the doorway to greatness. 6. Detach from results. Commit to the process. If there's one secret that separates those who start from those who succeed, it's this: they don't chase results. They honor the process. Most people quit not because they're incapable, but because they don't see fast results. They show up for a week, a month, maybe even 3 months. And when the outcome doesn't match the effort, they give up. They think it's not working, but what they really mean is it's not working fast enough. And that's the lie that kills consistency. The illusion of instant gratification. We live in a results-obsessed culture. Everything is measured, tracked, compared, publicized. You post something, you count the likes. You try something, you expect immediate success. You set a goal, and if it doesn't happen fast, you assume it never will. But here's the truth: success is never fast. It only looks fast from the outside. The person who blew up overnight, they probably spent 10 years preparing. The entrepreneur who suddenly went viral, they failed quietly for a decade. The athlete who seems unstoppable, they practiced alone when no one cared. Consistency means choosing the long game, even when short-term rewards are invisible. The process is the reward. What if the real gift isn't in the outcome at all? What if the true reward is who you become while staying committed? The muscles you build, the mindset you shape, the pride of knowing you showed up every single day regardless of applause. That's the real treasure. Because results fade, but self-respect stays. When you focus on the process, you win daily. You stay centered. You stop chasing and start becoming. Don't measure progress by the outside. How do you know if you're growing? It's not in your bank account. It's not in the mirror. It's not on the scoreboard. It's in how you respond when things get hard. Are you more patient than last month? Are you more focused than last week? Are you more consistent than yesterday? These are the signs of transformation, but they don't show up on a graph. Growth is an inside job, and your job is to keep showing up, whether the world notices or not. The 90-day illusion. Here's what most people do. They start something with excitement. They give it 100, then they get discouraged. Because the scale hasn't moved. The views haven't increased. The business isn't booming. So they quit. Then they repeat the cycle with something new. And again. And again. They're not failing because they're not talented. They're failing because they never stay long enough for results to show. Don't fall for the 90-day illusion. Give your process the time it deserves. Identity over outcome. Instead of asking, am I becoming more disciplined? Am I becoming someone who finishes what I start? Because once you shift your identity, results become automatic. Why? Because your habits always follow your identity. If you believe you're consistent, you will act consistently. So train your mind to measure progress, not by outcome, but by who you are being every day. Daily devotion over outcome, obsession. Try this mindset shift. Old mindset, I'll keep going if it works. New mindset, I'll keep going until it works. And beyond. Stop putting conditions on your commitment. Consistency means you stay faithful, not because you're guaranteed a result, but because it's who you are. That's true power. You become consistent when you decide, this is my way of life, not a temporary plan. Anchor yourself in daily purpose. Wake up and ask, Aka, what is one thing I can do today that reflects who I want to be? What's one aligned action, no matter how small, I can take? How can I show up today without needing proof? This anchors your mind to process, not pressure. It lets your nervous system calm down. Because when you're obsessed with results, you operate from fear. But when you're committed to process, you operate from peace. The fruit takes time to ripen. Think of a seed. You plant it, you water it, you nourish the soil, but for a while, nothing happens. It looks like nothing's working. But below the surface, transformation is happening. Roots are growing, structure is forming. Then one day, a sprout appears. And that's just the beginning. Your dreams are no different. They take time to germinate. If you quit watering the seed just because you can't see the plant, you kill your potential. But if you trust the process, if you keep showing up, the bloom is inevitable. Detachment is not apathy, it's trust. To detach from results doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care so much that you're willing to trust the timing. You love the craft more than the claps. You are willing to master the process without knowing exactly when it will pay off. That is not weakness. That is maturity. And maturity is the foundation of consistent daily affirmation for step 6. Say this aloud with conviction. I trust the process. I release the need to control the timeline. I honor my commitment daily. I focus on who I am becoming. I am consistent, not because of results, but because it's who I choose to be. Final thoughts. For step 6, your job is to plant the seed, to water it, to tend the soil, to show up daily. The universe's job is the growth, the timeline, the harvest. So stop measuring the seed. Start honoring the act of planting. The most consistent people in the world didn't get there by chasing fast success. They got there by falling in love with the process. And now so will you. 7. Guard your energy. Discipline begins with what you allow to train your mind to be consistent. It's not just about what you do, it's about what you allow into your life. Think of your mind as sacred ground. Whatever you plant in it, through thoughts, influences, and environments, will take root. And if you want consistency, you must protect that ground fiercely. Because here's the truth, you cannot stay consistent in chaos. You cannot build discipline surrounded by distractions. You cannot rise while carrying the weight of low energy, toxic voices, and scattered attention. That's why this step is about guarding your energy like your future depends on it. Because it does. What you consume shapes what you create. You may think consistency is just about discipline and willpower, but more often than not, your consistency is being stolen, quietly, by what you allow. If you fill your mind with negativity, fear, gossip, and distractions, Don't be surprised when your habits fall apart. But when you fill your mind with intention, clarity, truth, and inspiration, you create fertile ground for unwavering consistency. Audit your influences. Want to know why your motivation comes and goes? Look at what's influencing you. Ask yourself, who am I following online? What am I listening to each day? Oh, do I spend the most time around you? What do I allow to speak into my mind? You can't expect focused results from a distracted environment. Your energy is sacred, it's your fuel, and every person, platform, and habit you allow into your life is either. Eliminate energy leaks. There are habits and people in your life that might seem harmless, but they're leaking your power every single day. Examples. But over time, they chip away at your consistency, because when your energy is scattered, your commitment becomes fragile. Seal the leaks and watch your discipline return. They're about keeping your energy safe, so your purpose can thrive. You must learn to say no without guilt. Log off without apology. Protect your time without explanation. Prioritize your vision without compromise. Because the moment you let your boundaries slip, your focus slips with it. Guard your mornings. Protect your night. Design your days to reflect the life you're building, not the distractions you're escaping. Choose who speaks into your life. Not everyone deserves access to your journey. Be careful who you allow to advise you, critique you, or influence your emotions. Ask, have they built what I'm building? Do they respect my values? Are they lifting me or limiting me? If the answer is no, bless them, release them, and move on. Because when your environment is filled with aligned voices, consistency becomes natural. Create an energy-rich routine. Consistency thrives in routine, but not just any routine. You need one that fuels your energy, not just schedules your time. Craft a morning and evening flow that gives more than it takes. Examples. Morning, silence, gratitude, water, sunlight, affirmation, goal review. Evening, reflection, release, gentle movement, disconnect from devices. These aren't luxuries, they're strategies. They set the tone, they program your subconscious, they clear the static, so you can stay aligned, focused, and energized. Reduce decision fatigue. One of the greatest enemies of consistency is mental clutter. The more decisions you have to make each day, the faster your energy drains. Solution: simplify, systemize, automate. Eat similar meals that energize you. Wear clothes that simplify your choices. Schedule work in time blocks. Create default habits for common tasks. Every simplified choice is one less energy leak, and the less you have to think about the little things, the more you can commit to the big vision. Protect your focus like your future depends on it. Want to be more consistent? Then guard your focus like a treasure chest. Turn off notifications. Block distracting websites. Train your mind to do one thing and finish it. Multitasking is not a superpower, it's a trap. It leaves you tired, scattered, and unfulfilled. Single tasking with intensity. That's how empires are built. Even if it's just 25 minutes of deep focus per day, that kind of commitment compounds. Affirmation for step 7. Speak this aloud with power. I guard my energy with love and purpose. I release distractions and protect my focus. I allow only what uplifts and aligns. My boundaries are strong. My consistency is sacred. I choose what fuels my purpose every single day. You cannot expect to grow discipline in a field of weeds. You must clear the space, plant new seeds, water them with intention. Your consistency doesn't begin with action, it begins with energy. So protect yours like it's gold, because in truth, it is. 8. Let your future self lead the way. One of the most powerful ways to stay consistent isn't to ask, what do I feel like doing today? It's to ask, what would my future self do? Because when you live from your future identity, you bypass excuses, you override doubt, you rise beyond your present limitations. In this step, we train your mind to operate from vision, not emotion. From your higher self, not your current circumstances. Meet your future self. Take a moment. Visualize the version of you who has already achieved what you're aiming for. This version of you is confident, calm, grounded, wealthy in habits, mindset, and results. Consistent, effortlessly. What do they look like? How do they speak? What time do they wake up? How do they respond to challenges? Let that vision become clear. Now understand this truth. That version of you already exists on another frequency. And your job is to tune into that frequency with action. Why most people stay inconsistent. Most people base their actions on taken, how they feel in the moment, what seems urgent, what's comfortable, what they're used to. They let their past self run the show. They say, I've never been disciplined. I always mess this up. I'm not the kind of person who follows through. These statements become self-fulfilling prophecies. You must break that cycle by asking what would my future self choose today? That question becomes your compass, and that compass leads to unshakable consistency. Decision-making through identity. Every action you take casts a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. Want to be consistent? Then act as if you already are. Before every choice, ask, would my future self say yes to this? Would the upgraded version of me keep this promise? Don't wait to feel ready. Borrow the energy of your future self and act now. Step into character daily. You don't need motivation, you need alignment. Start your day by stepping into character. Like an actor, stepping into a powerful role. Say to yourself, today I embody my future self. I act like the version of me who already has what I want. I think, speak, and behave as that person now. Let that version of you guide your morning routine, work ethic, response to setbacks, thoughts about money, time, and health. Consistency becomes easy when you stop being who you've been and start being who you're becoming. Write letters from the future. Here's a powerful exercise. Write a letter from your future self to your present self. Let them encourage you. Let them remind you that the sacrifices you're making today are worth it. It may sound strange, but this aligns your subconscious with your higher identity. Reread this letter whenever you feel tired, lost, or inconsistent. Your future self knows the way. Let them speak from your identity, not just your goals. Instead of just saying, I am consistent, reliable, and unstoppable. Why? Because your brain seeks to prove whatever you believe about yourself. Speak identity, and behavior follows. Visualize the cost of staying the same. It's easy to break a promise to yourself when the consequences feel far away. So bring the cost closer. Ask what does my life look like 6 months from now if I keep breaking my word to myself? How does my confidence suffer? Now flip it. How will my life transform if I just stay consistent for 90 days straight? What could shift if I gave 1% every day, no matter what? Who would I become if I just refused to quit? Let the vision of your future pull you through today's resistance. Morning ritual. Embody your future self. Here's a simple ritual to practice each morning. Close your eyes and visualize your highest self. 3 years ahead. Picture how they walk, breathe, speak, and work. Say today, I am that person. Choose 3 things that person would absolutely do today. No matter how small, this rewires your identity, and your identity drives behavior automatically. Stop negotiating with your lower self. There's a voice in your head that will always say, just this once. It's not a big deal. You've already failed, might as well restart later. That voice is not your enemy, but it's not your leader either. It's just your past, trying to keep you comfortable. But you're not here for comfort, you're here for transformation. So let your future self become the loudest voice in the room. When that voice says, get up, keep going, you're doing this for something bigger. You listen. Step 8. Affirmation. Say this with full belief. I act from my future, not my fear. I let my higher self lead the way. I am consistent because I already am the person I've decided to be. My actions today shape my tomorrow. I honor my future with my discipline now. Final thoughts for step 8. You don't become consistent by pushing harder. You become consistent by pulling from your future. The truth is, your future self is already real. They are waiting for you to meet them through your choices. So stop reacting to your emotions. Start responding to your vision. Ask yourself, every day, what would my highest self do right now? Then do that. That's how you stay consistent. Not because you're perfect, but because you're committed to who you're becoming. 9. Harness the power of small, daily actions. Consistency is not about giant leaps or sudden bursts of effort. It's about small actions performed daily, over and over again. In fact, the secret to long-term success lies in what you do consistently, not occasionally. This step teaches you how to harness the power of tiny, purposeful actions to build unstoppable momentum. Why small actions matter more than big wins. When you think of success, you might imagine grand moments. Launching a business, winning an award, making a big sale. But those moments are the result of countless small steps taken quietly. Big results come from consistent small choices, day after day. It's like building a brick wall. One brick alone won't stand. But laying a brick every day will build an unshakable fortress. It's the principle that small, consistent efforts accumulate to create massive change over time. Consider this example. If you save just $5 a day, it might seem insignificant. But over a year, it becomes $1,825, plus interest growing exponentially. The same applies to habits, skills, and mindset. Consistent action compounds your growth. Avoid the all-or-nothing trap. Most people fall into the all-or-nothing mindset. They think if they can't do it perfectly, they won't do it at all. This is a dangerous lie, because perfectionism kills consistency. You don't need to be perfect, you only need to be consistent. Taking imperfect action daily beats waiting for the perfect moment. Create micro-habits. Big goals can feel overwhelming, and that's why many quit. The key is to break those goals into tiny habits, so small they're impossible to avoid. Example: instead of exercise for an hour, start with do 5 push-ups. Instead of write 2,000 words, start with write 50 words. These micro habits build your confidence, reduce resistance, and make consistency effortless. Celebrate small wins. Every step forward deserves recognition. When you acknowledge your progress, no matter how small, you feed your motivation and reinforce your commitment. Celebrate finishing that chapter, completing a workout, sending that email. This positive reinforcement keeps your momentum alive. Use visual cues to trigger action. Set up your environment to support consistency with visual reminders, making it easier to follow through. Track your progress religiously. Keeping track of your daily actions creates accountability and builds momentum. Use a habit tracker, journal, or app to mark every day you complete your task. Seeing a chain of successful days creates a psychological drive to keep the streak alive. Don't break your chain. How will you respond if motivation dips? Prepare backup plans. Have a shorter version of your habit for busy days. Schedule a quick review if you miss a day. Use affirmations to overcome negative self-talk. Planning ahead makes it easier to stay consistent through rough patches. Accountability partners amplify consistency. Humans are social creatures. When you share your goals and progress with someone you trust, your commitment deepens. Find an accountability partner or join a group with similar goals. Regular check-ins create pressure to stay consistent and provide support when you falter. Consistency turns dreams into reality, one small step at a time. Affirmation for step 9. Repeat this affirmation with conviction. I commit to daily progress. I honor every small action as a building block for success. I choose consistency over perfection. I am unstoppable because I keep showing up. Final thoughts for step 9. Your future depends on what you do today, right now. The journey to consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. Each small action compounds into extraordinary results. So stop waiting for motivation or perfect conditions. Start where you are, with what you have, and keep going, because every consistent step you take is a victory. 10. Embrace the power of persistence. Never quit on yourself. You've come this far, and now it's time for the final, most crucial step in training your mind to be consistent. Persistence. Consistency builds habits. Habits build momentum, but persistence is what keeps the fire burning when everything else wants to give up. Persistence is your commitment to never quitting on yourself, no matter the obstacles, setbacks, or challenges. Understand what persistence really means. Persistence isn't just stubbornness. It's not mindlessly pushing forward without thought. Persistence is a deep kind of resilience, born from clarity and purpose. It's choosing to rise again every time you fall. It's trusting your vision even when the path is unclear. It's loving your future enough to keep moving forward, no matter what. The power of the one more step. When you feel like quitting, The difference between success and failure is often just one more step, one more minute of focus, one more page written, one more call made, one more morning you show up even though you don't want to. That one extra step compounds over time. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and persistence is taking every step after that. Embrace failure as part of the process. Failure isn't the enemy of persistence, it's its teacher. Every setback is feedback, not a final verdict. The most consistent people don't avoid failure. They embrace it as a necessary part of growth. When you shift your mindset from fearing failure to learning from it, persistence becomes easier. You stop giving up because failure is no longer a defeat, it's an opportunity. Keep your eyes on the long-term prize. Consistency and persistence both require you to see beyond today. You must hold a clear vision of your long-term goals, not just the distractions, challenges, or frustrations of now. Ask yourself, why did I start this journey? What will my life look like if I keep going? Who will I become by staying persistent? This vision will anchor your commitment. Build a support system. Persistence is easier when you don't do it alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, support your goals, and encourage your progress. Seek mentors, friends, or communities aligned with your vision. When your energy fades, their encouragement will fuel you. Celebrate milestones in growth. Recognizing your progress reinforces persistence. Set milestones along your journey, small wins that mark how far you've come. Celebrate them with gratitude and joy. These moments remind you that your effort is paying off. Create rituals that reinforce your commitment. Rituals are powerful because they make persistence habitual. Create daily or weekly practices that renew your commitment, such as avoid comparing your journey to others. Comparison is the enemy of persistence. Your path is unique, your timing is unique, your growth is unique. When you compare yourself to others, you risk discouragement. Instead, focus on your progress, celebrate your wins, and keep moving forward. My persistence makes me unstoppable. Final thoughts for Step 10. Consistency is not a one-time effort, it's a lifelong commitment. By training your mind, guarding your energy, embodying your future self, and taking small daily actions, you've built the foundation. Now, let persistence carry you forward. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how slow progress seems, keep going, keep showing up, because your future self is waiting, and they're proud of you for never giving up. Your consistency is your superpower. Use it well, and your life will transform in ways you never imagined. Unlocking the power of consistency. Your path to unstoppable success. As we reach the end of this transformative journey, take a moment to reflect on everything you've learned about training your mind to be consistent and taking control of your life. This is not merely a technique or a temporary fix. This is a profound shift, a fundamental rewiring of how you approach every single day, every challenge, and every opportunity. Consistency is the bedrock of all success. It's the quiet force behind every great achievement, every fulfilled dream, and every remarkable transformation. Without it, even the brightest ideas fade away. Without it, potential remains untapped, and promises to yourself remain broken. But with consistency, with the steadfast commitment to show up for yourself, day after day, you unlock a power far greater than talent, luck, or circumstance. You tap into a deep well of resilience, courage, and clarity. You become the master of your destiny, the architect of your reality. The journey is the destination. Remember, the path to success is not a straight line. It is a winding road filled with ups and downs, triumphs and setbacks. There will be days when motivation feels out of reach, when distractions tempt you, and when doubt creeps in like a shadow. This is natural. This is human. What sets you apart is your response to these moments. Will you let them define you, or will you rise above them with persistence and grace? Consistency teaches us that success isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up, again and again. It's about continuing forward when others stop. It's about honoring your vision even when the world seems uncertain. Every small step you take, every choice you make to stay aligned with your goals, adds up to monumental change. These daily actions may seem insignificant alone, but together they form the unstoppable force that propels you toward your dreams. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your self-talk create the lens through which you experience life. Training your mind to be consistent means you take full ownership of that lens. No longer will you be a victim of fleeting moods or external chaos. Instead, you will cultivate a mental fortress anchored in clarity, purpose, and unshakable resolve. Each affirmation you repeat, each boundary you set, and each act of discipline you practice strengthens this fortress. It shields you from distractions and empowers you to focus on what truly matters. Remember, your mind obeys your direction. When you command it to be steady, committed, and resilient, it will respond. Your reality will begin to mirror your internal strength. The power of identity. One of the most profound lessons you've embraced is the power of identity. You don't become consistent by sheer willpower alone. You become consistent by becoming the person who is consistent. You are not someone who struggles to follow through. You are not someone who gives up when the going gets tough. You are a person who keeps promises, especially to yourself. Embodying this identity rewires your subconscious mind. It aligns your daily habits with the truth of who you are becoming. Every decision you make is a vote for that identity. When you choose consistency, you vote for growth. When you choose persistence, you vote for success. Embrace the process. Trust the timing. Change doesn't happen overnight. The seeds of greatness you plant today require patience, nurturing, and time to bloom. Don't get discouraged if results seem slow or invisible at first. Often the most powerful growth happens beneath the surface, quietly reshaping your mindset, strengthening your will, and deepening your commitment. Trust that every effort you invest is building momentum. Even setbacks are part of the process, teaching you valuable lessons and refining your path. Your commitment to consistency means you are playing the long game, a game where your dreams are inevitable, because you refuse to quit. Create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Consistency isn't just about achieving goals, it's about crafting a life of meaning. When you commit to showing up for yourself, you also commit to living intentionally. You begin to prioritize what truly matters: your health, your relationships, your passions, and your legacy. This focus brings peace amidst chaos and joy in the journey. You no longer chase fleeting pleasures or external validation. Instead, you build a life aligned with your deepest values. Your consistent efforts transform not only your circumstances, but your entire experience of life. The ripple effect of your commitment. Your consistency doesn't just impact you, it touches everyone around you. When you show up with dedication and integrity, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions become a beacon of hope and possibility. You become a role model, not because you're perfect, but because you're persistent. The energy you cultivate spreads. It elevates your community, your family, and your circle of influence. This is the true power of commitment. It creates ripples that extend far beyond yourself. A final call to action. Now, with all that you've learned and embraced, it's time to take decisive action. Begin each day by reminding yourself who you are. Speak your affirmations with confidence. Guard your energy fiercely. Take small, deliberate action. Embrace your future self as your leader. And, most importantly, never quit on yourself. You are capable of more than you realize. Your dreams are closer than they appear. Your consistent effort is the key that will unlock every door. The path is clear. The power is within you. Your consistency is your superpower. As you close this chapter and continue on your journey, hold this truth close. Consistency is your superpower. It is the force that will carry you through obstacles, doubts, and distractions. It is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Choose to wield it every day. Choose to stand firm in your commitment. Choose to believe in yourself, even when it's hard. Because when you do, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Your future self is already proud and eagerly awaiting the incredible life you are creating. Stay consistent, stay committed, stay unstoppable.